Thanks, Yusuf.
I'll take the other
Thanks
one.
for making me solve your problem. And humiliating me while doing it.
You're my hero, Johnny.
Well done.
Someone holding their balls, isn't it? It's like a silk sack. Not that one. A different sack.
Like a silky sack. The whole everything waist down there looks wrong, doesn't it? It almost looks like someone's hair here.
It looks like a tiny little fat borrower man is sticking his arse out from between his fingers.
Yeah. Is it his balls?
Yeah, he calls it the brain.
There's one.
Where's
Where's
the
the other
other
one?
wasp? Oh, I hate this so much.
The tension.
I thought it was on my head twice. Simultaneously, so scared and so pleased. It wasn't what I thought it was.
What are we going to do? Where is it?
Maybe they'll scare it off.
I think it's gone.
Yeah, just. Good, yeah, good plan. That'll,
That's it. Still there.
Where was it?
There's definitely just one. Now, Johnny, get it. Get it.
Oh, no, but this is getting tiresome.
Right, we're safe from more. It can't call reinforcements, so it's 2-on-1 at the moment. What are you doing? It doesn't need some soft tissue work. It needs killing.
You've definitely got the best tool.
Come on.
Right. Here's the plan.
Whack it.
I'll lure it towards
Well, how are
you
you going to do that?
with my roller, and then you.
How are you going to do that? Right. Come on.
Lost it.
It's over there. It's back. Come back.
I can't see it. Where is it? Where is it? I don't know.
Sorry.
What's that for?
This is so.
Fuck me! Shit! Oh, it's out now. It's out.
Come on.
Piss take.
Oh my god, that was so turn the light off, head in the room, and then
But there's
no, you're
doors.
gonna hit it towards me.
I know, but that you're in between the
Am I
walls
just
and the window.
collateral to you? Am I? Is that Chris?
Oh no.
Well, someone else get it then.
There's another one. Oh,
You said,
fuck
are you
yeah.
kidding?
You're listening to the Propanefitness Podcast, your ultimate resource for fat loss and muscle gain, with none of the gimmicks. With your hosts, Yusuf and Johnny. Simple rules, dramatic results.
Should we shut the window?
You close the window.
As a matter of priority.
Well, open
Close the window and kill them.
Well, if we open the window and then
It's open.
turn the light off so they don't go to the light, they'll go outside. Will they?
Why would they go outside?
Why would they go outside? There's no light outside.
Yeah, but they're following the light. Right.
But there's no
there is
light
no
outside.
light outside.
We're in a room with two.
Yusuf,
we-
Go.
We're not gonna
You're
like.
not going to notice that huge light.
So one's up there.
One's on the.
Where's the other one?
So now we've lost one of the wasps. So it could be anywhere.
Where's the first
We're in a worse situation now. You can probably hear the terror in all of our voices now.
Where's one of them? I can't see.
One's there.
Where?
There. On there.
Right. Yeah. Right.
This is so ridiculous.
Can we not record somewhere else?
Yeah. The problem is now they can't get out either, can they? So
So you've got to go to sleep again.
This is stressful.
Why don't we just... Are we still recording?
yeah.
We can't do it with the wasp in here.
Why?
Because every time it moves, we're all
It's
going
like-
to stop.
Danger cast. I've been assaulted. Chris just assaulted me. I got donut booked. Big time.
Look, is it in the bin?
I'm fairly certain it's over that way towards the window. Stop right there.
Okay.
I can't believe that you have a wasp's nest outside your room and don't have wasp repellent. Get it.
Clearance to do with this?
Get it!
Yeah.
Get it now.
Hold on.
Get it now.
No.
Do you need the book? Oh, how... How did you not kill it?
Do you know why? Because he bought a knobbly roller rather than a normal one.
Are you saying that the rumble roller, fantastic for myofascial release, rubbish for killing wasps?
What I'm saying is that...
Chris, come on.
What I'm saying is I've glanced the wasp with the rumble roller.
It's really angry now.
Yeah, it's maybe pissed.
Oh, it's out.
Go get it. Oh my god, that was so turn the light off, head in the room, and then
But there's another one in there still.
no, there was
There was two.
There was two.
when my head was here, pitch dark. I just said,
How about we get in the room, we shut the door.
Right.
Oh god.
But now we've got one in here with us.
Horrible intro to a podcast. Okay, layers on. Can't see a sign of a wasp unless it's like in my wardrobe or something.
or under your duvet.
Oh great. Bloody hell.
It's really soiled the mood. Did you both hear that? Right. So it is in here then. Somewhere.
Every sound sounds like a wasp going to kill me. Everything. Did you put a recording of a wasp on your phone?
It's just a YouTube video of a wasp noise.
That's quite convincing.
That's a cheap shot.
You hit me with a donut.
So this is episode 46 of the Propane Fitness podcast. We are back with Chris Williamson after popular request. If you haven't heard already, that was episodes 43 and 44, or 42 and 43, which was discussing meal prep, managing diet and training around an extremely hectic and erratic lifestyle. We were going to do He Who Poozes Loses in this podcast, but I think we've all poozed because of the wasp situation. So we've all pooed ourselves right now.
Has this been the most stressful beginning to a podcast that you've done?
Oh, without like the most stress I've been in the past like 3 or 4 weeks, I'd say.
You do have quite a relaxed life.
Yeah.
The most stressful.
Well, I mean, I don't normally have people wielding
These miniatures are a whole lot of fun, whole spelled without the W. Mini donuts, 100 bite-sized donut recipes to sweeten your whole day.
So it's like a display book. Like that's not a paperback, is it? That is a hard covered.
It's a hard-covered cooking book with a different mini donut.
But when you think cooking book,
recipe
you wouldn't think that format. Well, I'm trying to illustrate how much it hurt.
What?
Like it's hard. That's a hard book.
Big, hard, square book.
And Chris hit me with it. And the reason that Chris hit me with it is because I retaliated to the wasp trick that he played on me.
But you tried to play it on Yusuf, you just hadn't executed.
So I'm bravely leading the troop into the room to confront the wasps.
You were in the vanguard, weren't you?
I was in the vanguard.
You took point.
Of the revolution. And Chris thought it would be funny to tickle the back of my neck to make me think that there was a wasp there. Obviously, pretty unpleasant experience. Made me look a bit silly. I'm sure you'll, by this point, probably have seen a video of it on one or more YouTube channels. Yusuf likes that kind of thing. So I tried to do it back to Chris. When he did it to me, like, laughed, great joke, mate, hilarious. He hit me with a book.
So I got Chris later.
Still tingling.
And he didn't hit me with the book.
I see.
So I escaped the donut book.
I see what's going on.
Yeah.
So what is he who poos lose?
It's he who pooses loses.
He who pooses loses. What does that involve?
Well,
you're not in the field.
Trying to cover his legs with my duvet cover to protect him.
I'm also trying to protect the listeners' ears from my horse laugh. So we were discussing MCT oil in coffee, I think, or butter in coffee, and talking about its explosive consequences. If you haven't had MCT oil or butter in coffee, it's pretty much a race to get to the bathroom.
It's powerful.
Yeah. And we were discussing it in the last podcast, and I said that for a future podcast, it would be interesting for us all to have a particular coffee that makes you want to poo, and then whoever goes to the toilet last from the podcast is the winner. So he who pooses loses. At least it wasn't another story about extractor fan.
Yeah.
That's true.
No one was expecting that, I don't think, were they? Have you been stung before?
Yeah, on the nipple. Really bad.
So there's
Wait, on the areola or on the actual nip?
I think areola.
Right, okay.
Yeah. I've not got a huge areola, but...
Are you impressed by my knowledge of the word areola?
I am impressed.
Thank you.
I mean, most of the people listening will have seen my areola at some point on the website. like both of... In fact, all three of
areola
our...
sin nipple or areola con
Everybody
nipple.
Everybody on this podcast has an areola on our website, visible. For
a visible areola? Even the women?
You've got one. No,
the three
everyone
of us
on this podcast.
Oh.
When I said everyone, did you think that I meant
all your clients?
Everyone. All right.
All your clients are required to put up a photo
Topless
of their
photo.
areola.
It would increase traffic.
It would?
For the wrong reasons.
Wrong type of traffic, I think.
Yeah.
Wouldn't. Yeah.
So you got stung on the nipple. How?
Was in a cafe, large t-shirt. It was in my t-shirt and stung me on the nipple, and I cried.
How old are you?
24.
Seriously?
No, I think I was about 12 or something. Really painful, from what I remember.
It's consistent pain as well. I got stung at my old flat, the one on back in adjustment, and I got stung on the ankle, and it's like pretty incessant pain for ages. It's not super painful. Like you think it's going to be like this really, really sharp pain, and it's like a sting, like a nettle sting. It's just fucking.
It's like a 6 or a 7 out of 10 for a few minutes.
Have you seen that guy who has rated like the most painful venoms in the world and described them using really articulate and eloquent language, talking about the kind of sensation that he goes through? You need to check this out.
Sounds like a terrible job.
Got to Google.
There's a guy online who has, maybe a number of guys, but there's a particular person who has gone through a variety of the most painful venoms.
If we Google venom pain rating.
Yeah.
So where does a wasp feature on?
I'm not sure. I'll be interested to see.
So there's a Schmidt sting pain index.
This is at the Mail Online, mate. Can you imagine?
You're a medical student relying on the Daily Mail.
The Schmidt index is Wikipedia, which is the best friend of all medical students. Yeah.
I'm going to say that these fire ants are really high up.
Yeah, that sounds... Isn't like a box jellyfish or something?
It's going to be pretty high.
So we've got wasp yellow jacket,
Oh, they're really serious.
or paper wasp. Distinctly bitter aftertaste, like spilling a beaker of hydrochloric acid on a paper cut.
Okay, that sounds really painful, to be honest.
Bold and unrelenting, somebody is using a drill to excavate your ingrown toenail. Hot and smoky, almost irreverent. Imagine W.C. Fields extinguishing a cigar on your tongue.
So, is this all...
This is the mail online still. So this guy that I'm on about has taken this kind of language to the nth degree. He describes pain in the kind of way that you would describe like a blancmange or like, you know, like some fine food. Like...
Okay. Pain of sting.
So the Schmidt pain rating, it looks like there's just a guy called Schmidt who just goes round.
Maybe that's
getting
Schmidt.
stung.
Maybe it was Schmidt. It's all Schmidt.
It's all just a bunch of Schmidt.
I got stung on the neck while I was running. So this is Fat Johnny.
Obviously not very quickly.
Fat Johnny. So probably 12, maybe 11. Probably about 11 stone.
Right.
Running as fast as I could at the time around a playground, and got like a... So that image, I'll just let that image settle in.
Yeah.
And then sharp pain on my neck, and it was so unexpected that I pretty much hit myself in the neck. So sharp pain, crack, hit myself,
Yeah.
double, like it was just a reflex, so like double shock.
Yeah, yeah.
Thought someone had thrown something at me.
Mm-hmm.
Went to see the teacher, like, meh, and they were like, "Oh, you've been stung by a wasp." I don't know how they like knew, but I remember it had a white circle with a red dot in the middle.
By you, Chris, have you been stung before?
I was stung recently. I was stung when I was in my flat. It was on my couch. I laid down on my couch. I was actually eating saurine at the time.
This was the ankle.
This was on the ankle.
Yeah.
So it was...
Eating saurine, that's good.
Had it have been a more serious animal, like a snake or something, it could have been quite embarrassing. Had I have had to get the emergency services over, because I was laid down with my neck supported by a cushion, and I had saurine out of the packet, a whole loaf of saurine out of the packet, resting on my chest, so that I could lift it off my chest to my mouth to take a bite,
With minimal effort.
to then put it back on my chest. And as I was laid, it bit my foot down at the bottom. So if
It
that,
bit you?
it whatever stung me.
Jabbed you.
It jabbed, yeah, got me.
Oh man, what a really... Because like I imagine,
It's quite relaxed.
did the saurine like fly off?
I saved the saurine.
Saved the saurine.
Yeah.
Stung by a wasp. I've been punched by a Nazi. It's quite similar. That was
Okay.
that was a few years ago in Newcastle. Just walking along, guy sucker punched me. Just came up to the side, punched me in the jaw. Walking away, and he had the words "white power" tattooed across his back.
Okay.
Salutes his friends with a, one of the... I'm trying to indicate
Nazi
a
salute.
Nazi salute.
Yeah.
And yeah, later it looked like he lost his job because he was working for the Odeon Cinema and did something racist in work clothing. Service later.
Into these situations?
This was in the middle of town. Like, he later did community service because he punched a 10-year-old black boy.
What I would like to know is how... So this happened presumably 2 minutes you were in interaction with this guy, maybe less.
Yep.
How do you know he lost his job?
Yeah, good
Right.
point. So I found out later through someone who knew him. He said, "Oh, don't worry about him.
He lost his job.
Don't
he's
worry
a
about
dick."
Steve, he's racist to everyone.
Yeah,
Even...
he's indiscriminately racist. Well, I don't look that ethnic, so
No.
I don't know. I don't know why he chose. Maybe it wasn't an ethnic
Imagine
thing.
if he was racist to you, Johnny, because you're like Aryan perfection, aren't you?
Aryan perfection.
Like, thank you? Or
Yeah.
how dare you? Or
Yeah.
what do I say?
Mm.
Blonde hair, blue eyes.
Yeah.
So something we were discussing earlier is morning wood is often a good indicator of your testosterone levels.
I often feel my comfort zone being tested on these podcasts, which is weird because I'm sat in a room in Yusuf's house, perfectly comfortable, but because there's a black dildo-shaped microphone in front of me, it instantly, like, yeah,
It raises
I
the
really need to be
the
careful.
threat level, doesn't it?
Yeah.
We're at DEFCON 4 just as soon as that's brought
That
out.
red light's on,
Yeah,
and then there's a wasp in the room to just do it.
Oh, yeah, well, yeah, that was.
I'm still concerned about where this
I'm
final
it's
one.
very tense. I'm
It's
very,
in
very
here
tense.
somewhere,
It is in here.
listening to everything we're saying.
So back to erections. This is just a correlation, so I can't say causation for sure, but Tim Ferriss posted something a while ago about fermented cod liver oil. He did that plus vitamin D plus more fat intake, and what was the fourth thing? Selenium in his diet, and he brought his testosterone up by a significant amount. I bought some of the fermented cod liver oil, and morning wood frequency has gone up quite a lot in the last month. Now,
So that's
Can't
it.
say
Right,
for
on to the next thing.
It's getting unfinished.
just gonna thumb that into the podcast, but
Oh my
Thumbing
gosh.
it in.
but that's because when I mentioned this to Johnny, like, right, I'm buying some. You sold me.
So the story behind this is a really long story. Do we want to do it?
Up to you.
Lost my wallet playing golf. What?
That
Weird.
really is like a big step back.
Lost my wallet. Thought I lost my wallet playing golf. Came home from golf. Couldn't find my wallet. While I was trying to go and buy a burger. On my way to buying the burger in a restaurant, not like a road stop burger, out of desperation. So on my way to a restaurant to buy a burger, reached my wallet, couldn't find it, lost my wallet. Went back to the golf course, tried to find my wallet, wasn't there. Got home, damn, lost my wallet. Rang, cancelled all my cards. Left my number at the golf course. Nothing. Facebook message 1 week later from the lady saying, "Hi, sorry, we found your wallet. Forgot to ring you." Okay, drove to the golf course, picked up my wallet. Now, in that time, I ordered like several things off Amazon, like tried to use my cards for a few things. One of the things I tried to buy was the cod liver oil and spent the entire week getting frustrated that it hadn't arrived. Turns out Amazon just had a notification saying, "Sorry, payment declined." Forgot about it. Then Yusuf told me about his Morningwood success story, and I was like, fine, right, great. Buy some cod liver oil.
Okay.
I did warn you. It was a long story,
and
and Yusuf told me to tell it.
It was. Well, that's fine.
Blame Yusuf.
So, is morning wood an indication of level of testosterone?
It's a good indicator that things are working correctly. I think if you don't have it consistently at 26, then
Problems.
that's potentially it's one alarm bell, but I don't think it is.
What would it be an alarm bell?
It's just something to say, one sign of many, that if that's combined with other potential signs of low testosterone, then
It's an indicator of potential.
So if some of your listeners now are thinking, well,
oh my god, that's
I haven't
me.
woken up with a stiffy in a while.
Mm.
What else could they look for?
So check your mail first, I suppose.
check your mail.
Yeah, or you're a man.
Yeah.
Okay, not your
About
email.
this problem.
Right.
Not what?
Not your physical mail or your email.
Check your
Check you are mail.
Yeah. Check for post, email, and then check your gender. Once you check those things,
I don't think that I get morning wood upon waking at a normal time for me, which is about 8 to sort of 10 in the morning. However, if I get up to go to the bathroom at 6, I do. It's more likely that I have morning wood then. So is there, circadian rhythm for sleeping? Is there an erectile rhythm?
I think there is, and there's an argument to say that erections are not related to testosterone and that they are to do with sort of blood pooling, parasympathetic activity. There are rhythms of testosterone throughout the day, diurnal rhythms, and it's higher in the mornings. But yeah, it may be that morning wood just correlates with that and it's not caused by it. So maybe that's why you're at a peak when you're at 6 a.m.
But talking
Go to the toilet.
of embarrassing stories that include wood. So
oh god.
Yep. This one might need cutting.
Here we go. Pull over if you're driving.
So
Put the brake down if you're going.
a few years ago, we were going away to Ibiza to run a party. And are you checking the sound so that you can timestamp when you potentially need to chop this out?
Maybe. So Chris is known for his offensive stories. So just
This one's
checking.
fairly PC. Well, no, but
Other than it's about erections.
yeah. So
Okay.
basically, I was going away on holiday to Ibiza to run a party. We do get random erections.
Okay.
I'm fairly certain that was the reason, and not that I receded back into being a 13-year-old with hormones all over the place. But anyway, so I got on the plane, and for some reason, everybody else's seats were together, but I was sat on this EasyJet flight out to Ibiza next to an old couple. I was sat in the aisle seat, and they were sat in the two window seats. So it's quite open. You know, if I'd been in the window seat, I'd have been sort of pretty closed off.
Rotate towards the window.
Yeah, and anyway, as we were departing and the plane's vibrations hit peak, I noticed that there was a surgence of wood.
A disturbance.
Yeah, there was a disturbance in the force. And basically, obviously they say as you're taking off that you're not allowed to have your tray table down. But I put my tray table down. And I left it there for almost the remainder of the 2.5-hour flight to Ibiza in an effort to hide what could have been a potentially embarrassing situation next to two old age pensioners.
You have to in these situations. You've got to sacrifice safety
in order to win.
Right. So here's one. When you were in school and you did get wood, what was your favourite tactic for hiding it? Would you tuck it up under the belt, put it back on itself, or would you hope that you could get it sort of down the leg?
I would usually
up is the only way. That there's.
Well, no, but if you put it, you can have it sort of there.
There's
ligaments. Like through the front.
You've
front
got ligaments that would stop you from.
Well,
you'd have to bend down with it, wouldn't you? I usually just try to sit down as soon as I could, because once you're down, like you're okay usually. So the legs cross.
Are you trying to say that you potentially would have wood now and I wouldn't be able to?
I'm not saying I do, I'm saying I could, and you wouldn't realise.
Right, okay.
If you wanted to do this, so the ligament that suspends the penis is called the fundiform ligament, and
the
fundiform ligament, and some deform. Some people get this ligament cut to make the appearance of their penis larger, because then it's less it like hangs out more. You've got less of an internal penis. But the downside is that your erection can only ever reach 90 degrees, so perpendicular to your body.
Like a towel rack.
Yeah, exactly. So that is always a problem.
But if you tried to hang a towel on it, there's less structural support.
Yeah, exactly.
Have you ever tried to do that? Have you ever tried to hang a towel on your own erect?
I'm not going to answer that question first. Have you?
Yusuf, you go first.
I've not.
Well, in that case,
I'm going to have
to. No one has.
No one wants to admit to it first.
No.
I see.
So the thing I was trying to say like 3 hours ago, do you remember me mentioning Kelly Starrett?
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah.
And you brought up bananas, and then we've been on a 3-hour sidetrack.
Yeah.
But he has a suggestion, which is that you should every day wake up with morning wood and every day have a poo. And if those things are happening,
everything's
it's a nice baseline that like digestion's fine.
All your other systems are probably okay.
Hormones are okay. So I think the thing to check, the thing that I tried to be aware of is like, did it used to happen to me when I was like 19, 18, and is it not happening now? I think if that's the case, that's probably indicative of some kind of, if it's just been something that's never happened to you.
So this is where your affinity for spreadsheets comes in, really useful.
Have you been using big lifts too to track?
So you know those like the protractor sets you get at school and like to measure angles. Mm-hmm. They're not just for measuring.
I think that would technically be called the yaw.
As in YAW, right? That I'd be measuring. The yaw.
It's a good point though. We can maybe bring an article out on if people are interested in this idea that you've got like a circuit board and erections and pooing every day are signs that the circuit board is complete.
It's like, does the light turn on when I press the switch?
If not, then we need to do some further investigations, find out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or like
So-
having a buzzer in the circuit, for example, or
There we go.
whatever you want.
So, Chris, would you rather do 10,000 push-ups today, or 1 push-up today, 2 push-ups tomorrow, 4 push-ups the next day, 8 push-ups the next day for a month?
Is that doubling each time?
Yeah.
I know the answer, and I'll do
okay.
I'll do 10,000 today. And the study that I'd heard about was a story of the guy who created the chessboard. Have you heard this?
No.
The guy who created the chessboard apparently was from China, and what he'd said to the emperor was really, really happy with the game, and he'd come back to him and he'd said, you can have whatever you want. And this guy said, I want a grain of rice for the first square on the chessboard, and 2, and then 4, and then 8, and then 16. And the emperor said, like, oh, yeah, of course. Like, what a ridiculous request. Like, he could have asked for anything. What an idiot. And it turned out that by the time that you get to like the final square on the chessboard,
Absolute rice tycoon.
you need like more rice than there is atoms within the earth, or something like that. Like the grains of rice become like insurmountable. So yeah, no, I'll do the 10. I'll get the 10,000 today.
We tried to work this out earlier today.
Of how many press-ups could actually be done in a 24-hour period?
Well, there must be. Google it, and you will find out what is the most amount of press-ups that have ever been done in 24 hours.
So it's not about that. It's about how many seconds are there.
So Johnny claimed that he could do 3 million press-ups in a day in 24 hours.
So I'd have a go.
Let's have a go.
Like, so it's that, or it was that, or doing 10 million
By the end of the
30
month.
days.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, take my chances.
Right.
So 60 minutes, 60 seconds, 86,400 press-ups. If you did 1 every second for 24 hours. Now, if somebody can beat that, I'll be pretty impressed. Challenge is on.
No, Johnny.
Like,
They're not gone.
you seem pretty confident when I said that.
No.
60 times 60 times 24, 86,000.
That's the right number of seconds. It is not the right number of press-ups that you can do in a day. I would say that I can do like.
No, I'm not saying that's the maximum number.
Right.
I'm saying it's going to be like
below that.
Well below.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
What do you think?
I'm glad we're on the same page.
Okay. How many do you think you could do in a day?
So I know that doing like a set of 100
Yeah.
is really hard.
Yeah.
So I'd probably do like sets of 10 every minute on the minute.
I think that's a good tactic. I think
for as long as I could.
I think you'd be surprised at how quickly you couldn't make a minute.
Probably 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Then I'd have a rest.
Probably
do it again.
We did when I was in Thailand. The guys do a lot of like consistent press-ups and stuff like that. They would have a group, and you'd go around the group and you'd count to 10 in your native language. Like, so there'd be people from like Sweden and Denmark, and it would sound like they were kicking like a typewriter covered in tinfoil downstairs. If you've ever heard someone count to 10 in like Danish language.
And sorry if there's any Danish people listening to this.
Subscribe, it's just hard. If people weren't offended by the erection story, then the only Danish people left.
Let me laugh about you.
It's just the Danish people left by this point, and now not even them. Just want to clarify that was Chris. Me and Johnny do not condone any of his actions or hate speech.
Hate speech.
So yeah, they basically they make you do a lot of press-ups.
And how many could you do?
I got pretty good. I could probably do like, I don't know, 100 to 200 unbroken with not like a super pace.
So I think over 100 unbroken. Pretty good.
It's not too bad.
That's what you worked up to.
So actually, just thinking as well, because this is a fitness podcast, we should maybe slip in a couple of things that will be informative or useful for you to take away from this. If you haven't seen already, there's an article on the website called How I Added 25 Kilos to My Bench Press in 8 weeks. You're doing the Armstrong pull-up program.
Yeah.
that involves a lot of press-ups. Every morning you do 3 sets to failure on waking. And I never really gave press-ups much respect. I thought they were a crap movement that, I thought I'm above press-ups, I don't need to do them. Actually, trying them with parallettes so you get a little bit more range of motion. My first set ever was 20 to failure, which was pretty abysmal. Brought that up over the period to 140.
Wow.
And that improved my bench significantly. So if there's a weak link or a factor that...
145 actually.
Oh, you're just looking at 145. There we go.
So yeah, your first time you did it was 20, 23 and 24. And 8 weeks in, you got 145 in a single set.
Which is satisfying because there's
after
fast
a set
progress.
of 40. For some reason, you did a set of 40 and you're like, you know what? I'm sick of
Can
this.
add 100 onto this. Yeah. I think you were selling yourself short.
You also did 2 sets of 100 in a row.
I mean, it's not pleasant. Like, you wake up, the first thing you've got to do, you're just like, it's just you've been thrust into conscious waking pain.
Yeah. Elected.
So you do that and chin-ups, yeah?
Lots of chin-ups.
So you did a set of 23 chins.
Okay.
From a set of 12 to a set of 23 in 8 weeks.
So recommended if you're listening to this and you want to bring up your chin-ups and press-ups, or you want to, just generally improve your upper body size.
You added what to your bench? 25 kilos?
Yeah.
So your bench at the time was quite, I'd say, average for your weight. It's now pretty good and hasn't fallen since you did the Armstrong program.
That's true. Yeah, it's something that is the gains are sustained as well, which is good. That sometimes you find people that do something like Smolov, which is a Russian squat peaking program, and it may add sort of 20 or 30 kilos to your squat, but that gain isn't sustained because no one can maintain it. What is it? 4x9, 5x7, 10x3, and then 6x.
I don't know off the top of my head. It's
like
hard.
4 days a week with just a lot of squatting and with percentages that are designed to take you to like the edge of death. So that's not something that you can sustain. But for some reason, Armstrong pull-up program.
It's because it's body weight, isn't it? Like you can just
always do it.
Sneak in body weight stuff.
It makes you develop an aversion to like reaching for anything in a cupboard that's above your head.
Opening doors.
Yeah. The lat soreness is
that's
horrendous.
Intense. That's what, So I've never made it through the full 8 weeks of Armstrong.
Have you tried a couple of times?
Twice.
Wow.
You get to, so the first week you're like, this is really good. Like, you walk around feeling like you're...
Constantly got a pump on.
Yeah, all the time. 2.5 weeks in, you're like, okay, this is pretty tiresome now. Like, I could do with not doing 3 sets of press-ups to failure this morning. I'm really sore. 4 weeks in, you're like, you know what? Like, I just taught myself out of it. I'm like, I don't need to do this. Just because it worked for you, Seth, it won't work for me.
There was an evening where I was about to go to bed, and I haven't done it was the Tuesday night, I think, so that's the training sets. So you have to pick a number, which is T, and that increases by 1 each week. And then you do sets of that every minute on the minute until you fail to hit that number T. And so I ended up doing 34 sets of 4. Like hating life, hoping to fail one of the sets, but you just you keep.
Yeah, no, I keep going.
Yeah.
4 pulls or press ups?
Pull-ups.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
I imagine that's actually after even a few minutes would probably get pretty tough.
Yeah, it wasn't nice at all. And then about to go to bed, and then flatmates came in. Oh, Yusuf, do you want to come to this party? Okay, I'll squeeze a t-shirt on. Turn up at the party, everyone's like, "Oh, Yusuf, you're looking big," and she's like, "Don't talk to me. I'm in a lot of pain. You have no idea what I've just done."
We did a pull-up pyramid at a party. That's really, you're going to pull-up pyramid.
That 1, 2.
Yeah, like taking turns.
You do a set of 1, partner does 1, set 2,
2, 3, 3. Getting to 10 is hard.
What do you have to do? Do you have to not break it? Can you break it? Or...
It's just whoever can keep going. So it's best to go second. So you went first, I went second, so I knew I just needed to get like a set of 9, I think, and I won.
Rather than more pull-ups than there are atoms in the world.
In a fixed amount of time.
So would you rather be able to lift 45.4 kilos? This is an American question, obviously.
Has this been converted from imperial measure?
Yeah,
So no.
it loses its ring. I think it's £100, or I'd rather be able to lift £100 telekinetically, or £10,000, which is 4,535 kilos, physically.
Can you lift the weight telekinetically of whatever it is? Like that's how much.
All you could move was
Things that weigh
barbell
exactly.
loaded.
Well, who's asking the question? Yusuf. So it's possible that there are some.
Well, imagine if it was Johnny that was asking the question, he wouldn't let the bar be lifted at all unless it was Alico plates. Like one of those specially knurled bars that's been like fully weight and load tested and all the rest of it.
If you're going to lift it,
Toes right up against the plates.
Make sure it's... Or imagine if I lifted it with my mind and thought it was 45.4, but it was 45.7. Think of the mental term, like the strain.
For you, that's the sort of thing that would keep you up at night, isn't it?
You don't want to
overtrain. Your
overtrain.
morning would.
So I currently hold a record by 0.5 of a kilo. So these things matter.
They do.
Really matter. What was the second weight? 14,500.
It's like
4,535 kilos.
You've got to go for them. Be able to pick the thing up with your hand. I live a perfectly normal life without telekinesis at the moment. I think that being able to pick up that amount of weight would be...
You wouldn't have to even do a squat or a bench attempt, would you? You could do a token attempt. Absolutely. And then just deadlift 4,535.
So I'd rather do the telekinetic one.
But you would beat every... Because that doesn't say how you have to lift it. It says that you can lift it. So you would have the exact same squat, bench and deadlift, and they would all be 4,500.
So any lift curl would be...
Yes, it's strict curl and 4,500
I think the limit there would be, how do you find an object that you can... Because no gym would be able to accommodate your needs.
You'd lift the gym.
You'd have to lift the entire... Yeah.
It would ruin your training.
It wouldn't ruin it, you just wouldn't need to train anymore. Whereas the telekinetic one, 45.4 kilos, you could add that to... So your deadlift would go immediately from 300.5 to 345.9.
So I'd rather that.
Okay.
But I've beaten you.
Yeah, so by about 4,000.
So you would become this like thing that is like, wow, that's really impressive, but I'm not thinking about it. Like, I'm not trying to be the strongest man in the world. But if I could add like 40 kilos to my deadlift, like, that'd be nice.
And be able to make yourself a cup of tea without having to stand up. The problem is, if you can't control for the velocity of the thing that you're lifting with your mind, you might end up just throwing stuff around.
Smashing stuff around. However, I do think we would have been able to dispose of that wasp earlier a little bit easier. If you...
Just lift it really hard into the wall.
The ceiling. Yeah.
Would you rather be able to copy and paste in real life or undo?
Copy and paste what?
Whatever you wanted.
Definitely undo. I think an undo function would be amazing.
There's so many times you want to control Z and you just can't. In life, not
there's not... Yeah, I mean, that cup of Lady Grey earlier on was quite nice, and it would have been nice to have had two.
Yeah.
Does it mean that when you undo, do you remove the experience of having had it?
No, I was saying that I would have liked to have Command C'd it.
Command C, Command B, new cup of tea.
New second cup of tea, because that one was particularly nice.
You're thinking on a very low level, Chris. Like, I want an extra cup of tea. Like, I'll make you another cup of tea. Without even, I mean, and then
it was a very good cup of tea.
That's good.
I love a cup of tea, actually.
Yeah.
It is 11 o'clock at night.
Yeah, I think we should wrap this up, but I hope this has been enjoyable and...
Oh, really?
Probably hasn't been informative.
Do you have more questions? Like, let's get some of the really funny ones.
Okay, there's one last question.
Have you got the one about the fedora?
Yeah. Okay.
You've just deleted it, and you've had to Command and Z it back in.
I had to undo that.
Why did you delete it?
Just because I feel like these questions are... I'm not even sure if we're going to be able to leave these into the podcast. I'm going to have to, and then we're going to get complaints. Actually, this one's fine. I should have deleted the 100-year-old sex one.
Yeah.
I just picked top
Would
you rather on the internet. Okay. Would you rather put This is also a chauvinistic question. That's why I deleted it. Right.
Come on, man. Just ask us anyway.
Would you rather have a magic fedora that allows you to attract any woman with the words "milady," or be able to run 5 times as fast as long as your arms are extended behind you and you're making airplane noises? Definitely, absolutely the second one. No question.
So I suppose you're catapulting yourself to Olympic stardom, aren't you?
Instant, yeah.
Yeah.
Fastest man on the planet.
Unless I'm really slow, then I'm
Cripplingly slow. You wearing a fedora would be really good.
But you could do, if you were quick enough, your notoriety from being the fastest man on the planet by a factor of like 2.5 times or 3 times or something.
Even if you're going,
yeah, well, that could be a thing.
Okay.
And then that would give you license. You could build around that the fedora personality, where
Have it anyway.
that was your thing as well. So your thing is playing noises, arms behind you, and also
You could say you're doing it ironically.
yeah, and then also the milady and the doff of the cap, to get the women, but it just might not work quite as much.
I like your approach to these questions. It's very much how can you have the cake and eat it?
How can I benefit? How can I benefit maximally? Yeah. Well, I mean, being the fedora guy, you're forced to wear a fedora all the time.
Is it all the time or only when you need it? Like the
No, I feel like you always have to wear the fedora, but you can just call upon the power.
when
When
you say the lady.
Yeah.
I would do the speed.
I would be the fast aeroplane man.
Yeah, I don't think I could live with myself with a fedora or saying "milady."
Would you wear a cape?
If it meant that if it was part of the thing and you had to,
Would you not
to get
elect
speed.
to wear a cape?
I suppose you may as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could take the mick, couldn't you? You could wear whatever you wanted. Mr. Blobby costume.
And still, like, no contest.
Is that allowed in the Olympics? Probably.
I think find out what the rules are and test them to the absolute limit.
So you'll be able to run, just thinking about this, you'll be able to run at least at 5 metres a second. That's half the speed that Usain Bolt can do. Yeah? So you can then run now 25 metres per second. If you attached airplane wings at the right angle to your arms, I bet 25 metres per second is sufficient velocity to lift a human off the ground.
The only problem is you wouldn't be able to maintain that, would you? You'd come off the floor.
Yeah.
Or so you'd have to keep tapping
Yeah,
the floor.
you'd just be able to...
Oh, okay.
Also, hold on. Why aren't you able to maintain it?
Because you can't run in the air, can you? Your little legs.
Sorry, what I thought you meant.
Or are we back on the morning wood here?
What I thought you meant was you wouldn't be able to maintain like peak speed.
Oh no.
Like,
yeah.
okay.
But you'd keep on losing it. Did you know that the terminal velocity of a cat is non-fatal?
Yes, I did know that. That's where the 9 lives things come from.
Terminal velocity.
How do they do that?
Because that's their body weight, I think.
They're able to.
Yeah, they're able to
Put the. I know no one can see that. I've got my arms out like a flying squirrel, but it's a cat. Yeah, they do that.
Wow.
And they,
Non-fatal, but probably really hurt still.
I'm going to guess it's probably not advisable to do to your cat, but Bibbly out of the plane,
It would be okay. It'd survive.
it would
at
survive.
least.
Yeah.
if you think maxing out a treadmill.
12. But is that the level or is that the miles per hour?
So
it says level
I think
12.
a lot of treadmills go up to about 10 miles an hour.
Okay.
That feels like
pretty
fast, but manageable.
Yeah.
So Usain Bolt's got another 15 on top of that.
Yeah.
So you could probably do another 5.
Did you see him win the other day, where he's looking over his shoulder and grinning?
So Gatlin, I thought Gatlin had it.
Well, this is. Have you seen the analysis of Usain Bolt's running style?
And
about it, there's the 4 stages, like the set off, the drive, the cruise, and the finish, or something like that.
It's got like a lag, hasn't he?
And he's crap at everything except for the cruise. Like, he was built for 400, then he went to 200, now he's gone to 100.
Yeah.
And he is slowest out of the blocks, slowest to get stood upright. But the second that he stands upright, it's not his pace. It's not the pace of his strides either, I don't think. It's the amount of ground that he covers per stride. And that's why you see that sort of long gazelle sort of wheel, like the wheels on the side of a steam engine that are going round. You know what I mean? With that sort of that.
It is
It's
it's incredible to watch.
Unbelievable.
Incredible. Similar watching Yusuf run, to be honest.
You're very graceful. I've never seen you.
Oh, so graceful.
Actually, I saw you just run away from a wasp.
That's true.
It's like a swan.
So I think the delirium's kicking in at this point.
It is 10 to 12.
If you've made it this far, well done. Really salute you. And we'll speak to you next week.